Further, Elkobaiti presents a sociological or social historical analysis of currents that distinguish the way that these orders operate in the United States. For example, their role in Western academia, or their representatives as scholars of Islam and scholars of Sufism. Issues such as changing gender roles and participation of females in leadership positions are also detailed by Elkobaiti. Another frame or another dimension of this thesis discusses the literary and other cultural productions of these orders, including their role in literature, novels, rihla or travel literature, popular music, including blues, rock, as well as specifically Sufi or Eastern genres of music. Their influence in disseminating Islamic artistic and calligraphic traditions to the West. And all of this traces a broad and hitherto very slightly explored aspect of the contribution of Sufis and especially Moroccan Sufis in America. Elkobaiti also looks at how the writings of important Moroccan Sufis, such as Ahmed Zarruq and Al-Jazuli, are used by American Muslims, American Sufis, and others far beyond the range of specifically Moroccan Sufi orders. So this really chronicles in one place for the first time a very extensive catalog, analysis, and presentation of the activities of Islamic Sufis in the West, and especially currents from Morocco. This thesis is an original contribution to knowledge about American Tasawwuf, and there is nothing that exists that is so comprehensive or broad in the English language, and certainly not in any other language until today. For readers of Arabic, this thesis provides the most detailed overview of Sufi movements in the United States. For the Moroccan audience, it presents a broad and comprehensive survey of currents at practical, religious, and cultural levels connecting Maghrebi Tasawwuf to the United States, both historically and today. Another rich contribution of this thesis lies in its extensive bibliography, which draws together and makes available a range of sources in multiple languages and multiple genres, not only published books, internet websites, ephemeral pamphlets, treasure for the future historians who will work in this area. I would conclude that this is an excellent piece of work that certainly deserves publication in the Arabic original, and hopefully also portions of this thesis can be translated into Western languages so that it can receive the broad dissemination that it deserves. In short, I fully support the granting of the degree in recognition for this significant work to Aziz Idrissi Elkobaiti, and I congratulate him, his department, and his university for producing this excellent work that will stand as a monument to cooperation and understanding between the United States, Morocco, and the Muslim world. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Moving to some of the contents of the dissertation. In this extensive work of more than 400 pages in the Arabic, Aziz presents his findings in a number of interlocking frames. For example, an important basis of the study is a literature review of the history of Islam in the United States. That's one of the frames that organizes the presentation of his findings. He also has an important section in which he considers the political and cultural significance of tasawwuf in the Arab world over the past, let's say, 100 years, late 20th into the present 21st century. A third frame locates the significance of his findings in globalizing currents. By globalizing currents, I mean developments that surround manifestations such as the spread of Sufism to the United States. Such globalizing currents would include reformist movements in the Muslim world, the politics of the relationship between the West and Islam over the past century, and what we might call cultural politics, for example, the symbolic role of Sufism today as being upheld as evidence for a moderate, culture-friendly Islam. Within, having this background in mind, in other words, the political and cultural context in which these movements take their place, Aziz moves to several hundred pages in which he presents his extensive findings on these orders. Perhaps I should say at this point that there is no single or simple place in English or in Western languages to look for this information, but rather excavating the history of Sufi movements, their multiple literary production, their diverse historical currents. This requires a very detailed and extensive investigation of writings in multiple genres and sources, and this is the kind of work undertaken by Mr. Elkobaiti. So, for example, he moves to discuss the central topic of his thesis, tasawwuf in the United States. He first lays out a schema of the multiple Sufi orders and backgrounds that have carried tasawwuf to the United States, beginning in the early 20th century. Most significant to the thesis and coherent with its theme is the study of specifically Moroccan or Morocco-based Sufi orders in the United States, including the Shadhili Darqawi, the Alawi, the Habibi, the Batawi, the Keller Hashemiya, the Idrissiya, the Buchushiya. So the history of these orders for the first time is gathered and explicated as part of this work.